welcome to the Money Watch Show. It's Sunday, May 18th, and we are here talking to you about things that matter in your life that touch your money. And this is a program that's based on you, your needs, your wants, your desires, and your ability to navigate all the different choices that are out there. And when I say we, I mean me. I'm Jill Schlesinger, CBS News business analyst and a certified financial planner. And he is Mark Talercio, the executive producer of everything that we do, as well as a certified financial planner. Hello, Mark.
Hello, Jill. Just days away from the big Memorial Day weekend. You'll be sitting on the beach.
I'm sure it'll rain.
Oftentimes,
I stay local, but I mean, it is hard to believe because I feel like springtime really just flew by. Part of that was that, little heavy duty work, tariffs were like warp speed. It was like the days were really long and then all of a sudden the months went by like very quickly. So, Mark, I'm just wondering I said that we're both certified financial planners. Did you get an invitation? I got an invitation from the CFP board to attend something that was sort of like, hey, let's celebrate ladies and CFPs. Did you get that?
I think I got that invitation, but usually I just kind of get rid of those. But the one that I did get, that I did notice, was that they are increasing the annual fee yet again.
Well, I'm just going to tell you this. In 2 days, the CFP board's Power Women's Reception is taking place in New York City. And I just wanted you to hear what this says. This special evening will bring together an extraordinary community of CFP professionals, industry leaders, and change makers who share a commitment to advancing women's leadership and financial planning. Now, I just want to say a couple of things. Number one is I'm all for, women getting into this business, but I think it's really hard for a lot of women to get over the hump of that. The business is often creating a lot of barriers to entry, not just getting in, but staying in. I think it's really hard. By the way, only 24% of CFP professionals are women. That's about the same number it's always been. I think that when I was the ambassador for the CFP board, it was like 23. Then it went all the way to 25. Now it's at 24. So anyway, I think it's a great business for women. I think that you better make sure you're working for a firm that actually values you as more than someone who can just grab the money that's coming in from women, but actually values nurturing relationships and nurturing their staff, because I just think a lot of people give lip service to this and they don't really do anything about it. And Mark, I was with these incredible financial planning women out in California a couple of weeks ago. And the people doing this work, they're so committed to it. And that's what's amazing. So maybe if you're interested in becoming a certified financial planner and you're interested in kind of leaving one world and moving into another, get in touch with us. Gosh, I'd love to help people find their way into this industry because it's a very fulfilling one. So anyway, go to JillOnMoney.com, click the contact us button, write us a note and just say, I want to be a CFP, or maybe I'm interested in a CFP, and we'd love to hear from you. While you're on the website, don't forget to sign up for the free weekly newsletter. Now, Mark, if you did not manage your family's money, do you think that your wife would seek the services of a CFP who is a woman?
Probably. I mean, I'm guessing yes. That's
given her choices.
Yeah, probably. I mean, she certainly wouldn't do it herself just because she doesn't have the bandwidth to do it. So yeah, she would outsource, and I'm guessing she would probably look for a woman.
Well, I'd find her one. It's like I'll find her a second husband in no time, in case that happens. And this time I'll make sure that instead of a bust out guy who does podcasts, I'll get her someone with real money. All right. And you're the best. Forget about it. You're the best. All right, Mark, let's talk to our guest. We have none other than Frank, who is on the line from Buffalo, New York. Hello, Frank. How are you?
I'm doing all right. How are you guys doing?
Doing great. What can we do for you?
Well, I've come into some money from my grandma, and I'm also going to be coming into, not coming into, getting a large chunk of cash out of my house shortly. And I'm just not exactly sure what to do with all the money.
Oh, I love those kinds of problems. Like, oh dear, what should I do? I have money. Frank, how old are you?
39.
And are you single, married, partnered?
Single.
Okay. No kids?
No kids.
Okay. How much money did your grandmother leave you?
Total, it should end up to be about $250,000. About a fifth of that is Verizon stock.
Oh, okay.
Which is nice. It pays a great dividend.
And all of this money you inherited, and I'm sorry, I should have said to begin with, I'm sorry for your loss. It's very nice of your grandmother to leave you this money.
It is.
Did this money come in from a brokerage account from your grandmother, or is it inside of a retirement account?
The Verizon stock is in a brokerage account. The rest is just cash.
Okay, got it. So, when did she pass away?
She passed away April of 23.
So you have a date of death valuation of your Verizon stock of
Mm-hmm.
April of 23, and you have that all imputed. In other words, you know what the cost basis is, because the thing about the Verizon stock, whether or not I convince you to sell it, you still want to know you want to have a valuation of that stock based on the date of her death, so that if you do sell it, you can say to the IRS, "Oh, no, my grandmother bought it for $2, but my cost basis is a much higher number." So, do you have that number?
Not handy, but yes, I do.
Okay.
I do.
Okay.
I do know that number exists.
Okay, good. That's what I want to make sure. Because listen, we just got to make sure we do like the basics there. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So right now at 39 years old, an extra 250 grand, that's pretty amazing. My question is, how's your money? How's your life outside of this inheritance? Are you working full time?
I do work full time.
How much do you earn?
About $45,000 a year. No great money there, but
all right. It's okay.
But it's every week.
Exactly. And do you have any retirement assets?
I have a Roth IRA, which has a little over $150,000.
That's great.
And that's it.
Okay. And where do you live? Do you own a home or do you rent?
I do own a home. It is fully paid off.
Oh my gosh, that's where all that money went. Wow.
Well, I guess I should tell you I had two really nice grandmothers.
Mm-hmm.
This house that is fully paid off was a gift.
A gift. So a gift at her death, or a gift? In other words, did she actually say, "Here's the deed. I'm still living"? Like, when did you receive that gift?
She was still living, and I guess it was not a gift, a purchase for $1.
Yeah,
I guess is what it's recorded as.
Okay, so that has a very low cost basis, but it doesn't matter because you're in it and you like it. And how much is it worth?
Right now, probably around $250,000.
Well, that makes actually your cost of living so much easier to manage, right? No
certainly
mortgage, right? It's you're paying your taxes and the homeowners and all that, right?
Are you selling this house? Is that the plan?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a great house. I love it, but I grew up in the city of Buffalo, and I want to be back in the city of Buffalo proper. So I've been working on a house. It's nearly done. I'll be selling this and moving there sometime soon.
Okay. Just so I understand this, though, how long have you lived in this current home?
11 years.
Oh, great. Okay. I just want to make sure. So there's not going to be any tax liability for you, because even if the grandmother bought it for $50,000, you're under, for everyone listening, when you sell a house that is your primary residence and you live there 2 of the last 5 years, when you sell it, the capital gains is calculated. So let's just pretend that Frank's grandmother bought it for $10,000 and now it's worth $250,000. The whole gain, that $240,000, that's a capital gain because she gifted him the house. She didn't leave it to him in a will. When you leave it in a will, you get a step up in cost basis to the date of death valuation. We'll talk about that when we talk about the Verizon stock from your other grandmother. But for this house, when someone gifts you a house or any asset, you inherit wherever they bought the house. That's your cost basis. But with a primary residence, you can exclude up to $250,000 of capital gains as a single person, $500,000 if you are a couple. So you're selling this and there's no tax liability, and that's very important for us to keep in mind. So that's good. So the new home, how have you paid? Like, what's going on with that? What's it going to be worth? Do we need some of this money from the old house to do something for the new house?
Yes. So I've essentially gotten a home equity loan, but through my parents.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So they've covered the renovation costs up till now, and I'll pay that back with the proceeds from this house.
How much have you borrowed from your folks?
About 90,000 to date.
And
That'll
you,
go
what do you
up
think it'll
maybe to
be?
100.
Okay, so let's say 100. Okay. So then when the house is done, what will it be worth, do you think?
Oh, it's a great question. Maybe 150.
When you sell, let's just pretend you sell the house, there's some fees, there's a listing agent. Let's just say you clear 200 grand. I mean, and it may be more. So you pay your parents off the 100 grand, right? Then you
Hmm.
have an extra 100 to add to your brokerage account, which now has 250,000, right?
Right.
Okay, got it. So we have $350,000 that we're talking about investing
Well, there's
potentially,
the 150 in the Roth IRA. You're not counting.
not counting that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So
So
250 from grandma, which includes your 50,000 of Verizon, plus the extra 100 that will come out of the house sale after you pay your parents' loan. So that will be a total in your own brokerage account, not an IRA, of 350, right?
right.
Okay. And and we've now outlined all of the assets that you have. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
For these purposes, sure.
Okay. Anything else that you would want to do? Like if you look at that 350, that big pile of money, is there anything else that you would like to do with that money? Car, something else in the house that's like, oh, it's crazy, but I'm going to do it anyway.
I'm a hobbyist woodworker. I might purchase an expensive new tool, but no more than $5,000.
I'm not including that. God bless you. Okay, you get to spend five. I'll give you 10,000. Okay.
Oh, nice.
All right. So now, so far, we're on the same page, right? And so you have all this cash, and we know that you're going to end up having ultimately 350 grand. But we also know that you don't earn that much money relative to this big net worth that you have right now, which is $500,000, right? Or
Correct.
meaning more. It's because I'm not including the equity from the home. So first things first. Do you have a retirement plan through work, or are you just using a Roth to fund yourself?
So the Roth is fully funded every year, and so I've only the my current employer I've worked at for a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
They do have a 401k match. I do max that out,
Mm-hmm.
but there's not a lot there right now.
Do they have a Roth 401k option?
I'm not sure.
You should check on that. Because you're in such a low tax bracket, it does make a ton of sense for you to think about using Roth. Really, you're young, you're in a low tax bracket. I mean, it's kind of fabulous, really.
Okay.
Okay. When you have your, like when you actually have money that is in one, in a big account, one of the things that I like to say is, okay, well, what percentage of the money is in this one stock? And it's about 15%, right? You're going to, I'm presuming you have the 350 grand. So 50 of it would be in this one stock called Verizon. Now, I just did a fun thing. I went and looked at a chart of Verizon just for the heck of it. And I went back and I said, okay, where was this stock when you inherited it? I just took an average of like the April close. And so it's about probably when you inherited about 39 and a quarter. And now a couple of years later, it's 43.71. But I just wanted to, for my own edification, I said, well, what would happen if I went back 5 years just for fun, right? And I said, oh, look at that. 5 years, it's down 21.5%. Which I don't think you would like. I mean, I just think it's certainly fine, but like you probably could do better. I mean, even if we just looked at the S&P 500 and just a plain old, an index fund, and even if you didn't do all index fund, you did some index fund, you did some bond fund, over the last 5 years, it's kind of like, the index itself is up 97%. So I'm wondering whether you would be interested in either finding yourself a way to be a bit more aggressive with the money and thoughtful about the money so that you were able to try to make more than this one stock can provide for you. And I mean, I know people love the things they inherit from their grandparents and their parents, but do you think you could do it? Or are you going to just tell me, no way, Jill, I'm just doing what I want to do. I want to keep my Verizon.
I'm open to suggestions. Once I'm down to one house,
yeah,
And cause I'm paying two sets of taxes right now. And when I'm not doing that, I did consider putting doing a drip for the dividend.
Do you hear
I've
me?
always,
Did you hear
I've
me go?
always,
I
no.
just did that. Okay.
Okay. I'm catching what you're laying down.
I mean, because why am I in this one stock?
Sure.
And why am I in any single stock? Why am I not just saying, hey, we can actually have a diversified portfolio that we, meaning you, where you have some stocks, some bonds, some of it, and just owning an index and making it really simple so that you can feel like over time you have a portfolio that will grow, not go crazy, but also give you some dividend and interest and also be there for you in a more diversified way. So I am concerned that when, honestly, like, again, I don't know what's going to happen to Verizon,
Sure.
for all intents and purposes, but like 5 years being down 20% versus being up 95% in the index, or being, up some money in the bond index, or just being up some money in a balanced index. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like it doesn't make sense for you. Mark, do you want to weigh in here?
No, I mean, you would get rid of it. I would get rid of it. I would just, he's got a great chance here to kind of just like reset things and have a nice diversified portfolio. And if he does that, and by the time he's, say 60 years old, that portfolio will be, $1.5 million by basically doing very little.
And, from our point of view, someone like you who's, been trying hard to, be a good guy, put his money away. Then you get this lump sum stuck in your, thrown in your lap, and from your very kind family. And I just think, I bet your grandparents would want you to be really smart about this and not necessarily think about what is the way to honor my grandparents by keeping a one stock that like holds some value and maybe some nostalgia, or create a portfolio that's diversified that's going to help me do a lot of different things in the future. And I, of course, me, I'm arguing for the latter, not the former. Can you do this yourself, do you think, or not?
Yeah, I'd definitely be open to selling it. I mean, you both are making a good point, and no, it's not nostalgic. I mean, this isn't like I've got grandma's china here,
right? Which, by the way, I've learned over time after
nobody wants.
Nobody wants. My mother-in-law had a lot of china that I'm sure was very expensive. We ended up giving it away. It was like free for all. Okay. So, Frank, what else do you feel like, where is the brokerage account? Where is the money held right now? Where is that account?
Actually, the moment I got the first distribution from the estate, so I didn't know what to do with it, but I knew I wanted it to make more than whatever a savings account was paying. It's in a 12-month CD with KeyBank.
Okay, and when is that due?
That will be January next year.
Okay, so we have nothing to worry about. So interesting, because it's January of next year. What you could do is you could take the money that is like the rest of the money when you sell the house, right? The rest of the money, you could just actually diversify it into an index fund anytime soon, right? Like, Mark, what would the portfolio look like for you ultimately when we have that brokerage account? What would you have? You would have a stock index, a bond index. Would you have anything else in there, like a commodity or a real estate investment? What would you have in that? Like the Frank, keep it simple, stupid portfolio. Ultimately, what should it look like, do you think?
Yeah, I personally wouldn't have the other stuff, but yeah, I would have the main U.S. stock index, whether it's a total stock market index or a S&P index. If you want to have a little international stock as well. And then just a bond fund index. That's it. And I would, in terms of allocation for you, I would probably have 80% in stocks and 20 in bonds.
Do you feel like that's too much risk? Like, were you happy having that nice, beautiful, boring CD when markets were going crazy a few months ago?
No, I don't need to have it in the CD.
Okay. Well, I think then that it is incumbent on you to really think hard about reallocating, not having so much risk in one stock. And, often when I'll talk to people about, stocks and how much to have, you'll hear me say things like, gosh, what I'd really think would make sense is to keep it under 5% of an individual stock, maybe up to 10%. So if you wanted to hold on to some piece of the Verizon just for like posterity, 5% of your total investments. Right now, the brokerage account will be 350,000. And you could look at your Roth as another 150. So if you look at your $500,000, if you wanted to say, I'm going to keep some of the Verizon stock, that's fine. I just really would encourage you to not look back and to reallocate and to be very clear that keeping this as a simple allocation where you can, maybe rebalance it once a year and feel okay about the risk level, then, you'll be on your way. And the fact that this CD money is coming due, this kind of gives you a staggered way to get into the markets. And it sounds like, you're well on your way. And the Roth, where is that money held?
Fidelity.
So are you going to open up a Fidelity brokerage account? Is that what you're going to do?
I suppose I should just try to keep everything all in one place.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. And I guess the only other thing is that, like, you got some money now, dude. It's time for you to make sure that, God forbid something happened to you, you had a plan for passing that along to either siblings or nieces, nephews, or somebody. So do you have a will?
I do not.
You may want to get that done.
I know. I listened to you enough that I was thinking about that as preparing for this call.
Yeah. I mean, also, like, it's weird. Do you have siblings?
I have one sister.
And would she generally, do you think she'd be the beneficiary? Does she have kids?
No kids for her either. Yeah, we've, every time we set, like when I was setting up my 401k, she's of course the beneficiary. I know I'm the beneficiary on hers.
So one thing to do when you set up your Fidelity account is immediately, just to make your life a lot easier, even before you do the will, have them for your brokerage account. You're going to open this brokerage account. In will come your Verizon stock and whatever else the money comes. And when you sell the house and you pay your parents off, all that money will go in there. That account that you open will be the Frank from Buffalo individual account. Ask them to make it a transfer on death account with your sister named as the person who would receive it.
Okay, for sure.
And then go talk to a friend who's a lawyer and see if you can set something up with them. All right.
Oh, that's my dad.
Oh, perfect. So have your dad do it. It'll take 2 seconds for him.
Yeah,
it really will. We're delighted to have you join us, and we really thank you. And I'm so sorry that, you're calling because of a loss. On the other hand, I think you're being really smart about how you're handling this. So good for you. We wish you luck. Let us know if there's any questions, and go forth and prosper. How's that sound?
It sounds beautiful.
All right. Well, listen, if you're like Frank and you need some help, get in touch with us. Go to JillOnMoney.com, click the contact us button, write us a note. And if you want to join us live, check the box. Mark does everything else because he's the best. Don't forget to sign up for the free weekly newsletter. Comes out every Friday, which is an excellent way to prepare for the Money Watch weekend. If you would like to subscribe to us, you can do so on the Odyssey app. And you can also subscribe to our other show called Jill on Money. That's our Monday through Friday show. Just check it all out, all on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts. Mark Talercio is the co-host, executive producer, and king of all things web here. We drop our episodes on the weekends. Please leave us a rating and review wherever you listen. And of course, we ask that you try to lift someone up, change your work, change your wealth, change your life. Thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you next week.